Really wanna zig a zig.
Hiya! Welcome! Minidisc Monday number 64 sees the second edition this month of the mini-series Spice Month. Of course, as explained last week, I'm looking at my remaining 4 Spice Girls and or related albums on MD. This week, it's the turn of the first solo album from one of the Spices, and it is the first solo album that one of the members released. It is, of course, Geri Halliwell's Schizophonic.
It's gonna be alright. But when my sky clouds over, lift me up. When the day is over, take me up. When the sun is going down, I will be your angel now. Lift me up. When the lights are fading down, when I'm flying way up high, and I'll be your angel for life, your angel for life.
So Geri had left the Spice Girls in 1998, falling out with Mel B, apparently, according to rumour and scuttlebutt. She left the Spice Girls label Virgin and signed to EMI, and about a year or so later, singles and this album would come out. So Geri, the first Spice Girl, although she was technically an ex-member at that point, was the first to embark on a solo career. So before I start talking to you about the album and the tracks within it, let's have a look at the packaging and the contents as we always do. Case is holding up fine, kind of some residue there. Not too badly scuffed really, I've certainly seen worse cases, and it's on its hinges. The booklet, it's a concertina style one. It's got lyrics and some vaguely arty looking photos in it. As for the disc itself, if I can get this booklet back in, album artwork, flip it over and on its side, track listing, EMI record label logo. This may be the only EMI mini disc I've got in my collection actually. I couldn't swear to that because I've still got other ones that I haven't played for years that I will be reviewing, but certainly the first time I've seen the EMI logo on a mini disc or its contents while I've been doing this series. Right then, so Schizophonic. Apparently Geri Halliwell had not rushed this album. It came out a good year or more after she'd originally left the Spice Girls and signed to EMI. She wanted to plan things accordingly and get a good production team and songwriters, etc., so that this album would be something of a statement debut release, kind of in the vein of when Robbie Williams left Take That, I suppose. However, it doesn't really feel like much of a statement, or if it does, the statement is that this really should have been a lot better, but we'll go through it. Track number 1 is the lead single, one of 4 singles from Schizophonic, and the only one, weirdly, that didn't get to number 1, her debut solo single, Look at Me. I never liked this when it came out. Do I like it anymore now? Barely. It's really kind of self-satisfied, as you would expect really with a song like Look at Me. I get why it was Geri's debut single. It's kind of, yeah, I was in the Spice Girls, look at me, I'm all out on my own now. But no, just not a good song that for me. Track number 2 is one I've got a lot of fondness for, Lift Me Up. Another single, and it was a number 1. and I believe I had the CD single back when it came out. I think it was sometime in 1999. Kind of a mid-tempo pop song, catchy, pleasant. Geri's voice sounds probably as good as it's ever sounded or ever likely to sound, really. I wouldn't say she's the strongest singer, but, you know, a kind of force of personality, really. Certainly won her fans and applause during her Spice Girls days. But I do like Lift Me Up, and it's an album highlight for me. Track number 3 was a pleasant surprise, Walk Away. Another sort of more in the ballad territory, but kind of not too slowed down or low tempo. Really nice song that, for me, probably should have been released as a single instead of at least one or two of the others, to be honest. I would say that and Lift Me Up are probably the best tracks on the album for me. A pleasant highlight there, Walk Away. Number 4, Mi Chico Latino. This is Geri obviously jumping on the Latin pop fad bandwagon that was really becoming prevalent kind of 1998-99, thanks in large part to artists like Ricky Martin. Another one that I was never too keen on back in the day. It's okay. I think it was probably a good choice for a single. Well, it definitely was when it comes to sales, because it was another number 1, but just not really my cup of tea. But I certainly prefer it over Look At Me, and another single that I'll mention shortly. Number 5, Goodnight Kiss. Did not enjoy that at all. Sort of slowed down jazz pop, really. Not my taste whatsoever. Number 6, Bag It Up. That was the final single taken from Schizophonic and the 3rd number 1 from the album. So she did well with her singles, 3 number 1s and a number 2. It kind of reminds me of a lot of the chart pop that was in the chart around this time, and there's nothing special about it. There again, the lyrics don't grab me, they seem kind of frivolous. Track 7, Sometime. This was okay actually. It had sort of gospel and church organ type starts, and then it goes into more of a general 1990s turn of the millennium pop song, but one of the better tracks on the album, that. Number 8, Let Me Love You. Now this had your Indian style instruments, your tabla, sitar sort of sound at the start and in places throughout as well. And as much of a fan of proper Indian music I am, this seems just too overly appropriated, really. It kind of waters down that effect, and I didn't like it ultimately. I wanted to, just because of the Indian vibes, but not the worst on the album, but a disappointment certainly. Penultimate track is number 9, Someone's Watching Over Me. Bland. Bland, bland, bland. And number 10, really disappointing, or rather just not very good way to end, You're in a Bubble. And this is, if you can believe it, Geri Halliwell's attempt at hip-hop. She's rapping in it as well as doing some spoken word bits. Once again, the lyrics are just cretinous, to be honest. Yeah, she's trying to be like TLC or Missy Elliott, or, you know, pick one of your female rappers or R&B acts from that era, really. She hasn't got the street cred to even begin to pull it off. Yeah, this isn't a good album, I have to be honest. The singles on it range from ones that I don't like personally, but I can see why other people like them, to the very good Lift Me Up, which I think remains a career highlight, certainly solo-wise for Geri. Geri Halliwell has only released 3 albums on her own altogether, which did surprise me. Her last one I think was 2005. Apparently, according to what I was reading, she did record a 4th album around the early 2010s, but it never got released. If this is kind of a high point in her career, and I couldn't say that for certain because I've not heard her other albums, then yeah, it's pretty obvious why she's sort of focused on writing books and other projects. Of course, the few Spice Girls reunions that have taken place over the last couple of decades or so. As a statement, as a hyped solo album from a member of the biggest pop band of the 90s, it falls very flat, does Schizophonic, and I can't recommend it. And there we go. Geri Halliwell's Schizophonic, number 2 in Spice Month. Will we see a better album this time next week? I've got a feeling we might, but I'm going to listen to it next week and tell you my thoughts. I want to say thank you all for watching today, with special thanks that go to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and please join me again in just 7 days' time as we look at another solo Spice Girl and her debut studio album. Can you guess what it is? I'm sure you probably can. But until then, I will say my goodbyes and ask that you join me again for the next Minidisc Monday in Spice Month. Cheers, everyone. See ya!